Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I am Weal. It is nice to meet you. So I asked on Instagram if you guys would like to see my story of how I got Yui, or my favourite things about Pomeranians. It was level pegging all day. And then this one shot up. And basically, while it was level pegging though, I realised those that regularly comment on my videos were the ones asking for the story. So that was pretty much what I was going to do anyway, because they show their support a lot, so their vote means more, you know what I mean. I will be doing both. It's just a matter of which I have time for first, and it's the story time. I finally have a chair, by the way. Thank you Groupon for being cheap. So, I got Yui about June 9th, but I think we should start before then. I've basically had dogs in my life from Tinky Winky baby. My dad had a dog before I was born, and then when I was in about year 4, the dog was 18, so do the maths. And then just before that dog was put down, like a year or two, we got Coco. Coco was meant to be my mum's little like designer chihuahua. He gets dressed up and lives in handbags, but he wasn't as cute as she thought he was gonna be, and not as small, so she didn't like him. After the divorce, Dad kept the dog, that sort of shizazzle. But then just before my 19th birthday, I moved in with my mum, and there's no dog. So I'd had a dog for 19 years. There was little patches where Coco, we tried to get rid of him about 5 times, but he kept coming back. So yeah, always had a dog though, always. So, but living in a house without a dog was weird. It was not, no. It was a house, not a home. I had been asking for a dog on and off for like forever, but it was never serious. But then I think it was just before May, I started looking on like doggy websites and stuff like that, looking at rescue dogs and all that good stuff, and it started to feel a bit more serious. Like I really wanted one, like really. I think you guys might even know around the time when, because I was obsessed. And then May was my birthday month, and yeah, during May though, that was when I basically just started like pestering for a dog. I would like, I forgot what it's called, but I was mainly using pre-loved, and every dog that was within like the Midlands, within my price budget range, I would like favourite or whatever it's called on there, so I could keep track to see how they're doing, if they're sold yet or not. I was mainly looking for a female puppy, but I did not have permission yet. I would basically be like, Mum, I found this dog, can we get it? And she'd be like, no. Mum, I found this dog, can we get it? No. Mum, I found this, no. And then I basically came up with like several reasons of why we need a dog. We need a dog. I was like, oh yeah, but it will turn a house into a home, and it will get me to go outdoors more, and this and that, and yeah. And she was like, you won't look after it. You will not be picking up the poo or taking it on walks. And I was like, I will, because I don't mind walking, yeah. I just don't do it because I've got no reason to. Now I've got a dog, I am adventuring a lot. I shouldn't really say the word because... So, May rolls on and we're camping in Skegness. There's a dog in Birmingham that I really want. It's the cutest little bear cub ever. And I really thought I was almost there. And I was like, Mum, on our way back from Skegness, let's stop off on the way and have a look. And she was like, no. But it was sort of a bit more of a maybe later, but no. And then that dog went, so that was sad. And then I was like, please, can we have a Pomeranian dog for my birthday? I had made songs that I would just constantly sing in hopes it would like brainwash her into letting me have a dog. And it was just a no, like no. I think I was living on false hope the whole time, because it was like, she don't like dogs. She won't let me have a dog. There's no way she's going to let me have a dog. But I wanted a dog. So I would keep going at it, knowing that it was a zero possibility. My hopes were none, but it was like, if it does happen, I'll be pleasantly surprised. You know what I mean? And I'll be prepared if it does happen. But if it doesn't, I already knew it wasn't going to happen. I asked Mum for a dog. I thought she was going to say yes, but she didn't. I was ranting to my brother about how I wasn't allowed a dog. And then she calls us both downstairs and we're like, oh crap, what chore have we got to do now? And then she whips out this contract. And basically the contract states stuff like, I must make sure I clean up after my dog. I must make sure I take my dog out. I must make sure I entertain my dog. I must make sure any dog expenses are paid for by me. And basically it was all like stuff that I'd have to do and me confirming that I would do it. I signed, she signed, and my brother signed as the second witness. And it's essentially a legal binding contract. And that meant I could have a Pomeranian. It honestly came out the blue, and within the week I got my dog. Basically, I did not want her to go back on that decision. I knew we had a contract on it, but obviously mum's rules go, you know what I mean? So I had to just do it. Yeah, I had to just. So all I knew I wanted was a Pomeranian puppy, female, within my price budget, and preferably local. I'll get round to the questions you might have at the end, such as why I bought and didn't adopt, why a Pomeranian and stuff like that at the end. Now, this segment is my story, so we're going to do the story. Yeah. I now have permission to get a Pomeranian, which came out of the blue. Luckily, I have been saving money for months. Ever since I started getting money coming in, I would save at least half of what came in, sometimes more. If I could budget, I would budget basically. But every couple of months, I would treat myself to something, aka a chair. So I had some money, and there was 2 dogs I was looking at. So I was looking for a Pomeranian girl puppy. Obviously, the older they are, the cheaper they are. And the less purebred, the cheaper. But I did want a purebred Pomeranian. I did not care if it was a toy pom or not. Just to clarify, for those that don't know, Pomeranians were bred down from, I think it's a German Spitz, and they were like big sledge doggies that pulled sledges, and now they were bred down to about half the size during Queen Victoria's reign, and now Pomeranians range from like medium-ish to like tiny. But I'm not really keen on tiny dogs because how do you cuddle them? And yeah, they're cute, I love them, like don't get me wrong, but for a life partner I wanted something bigger. My dream dog was actually a husky, but being 5 foot, it would be walking me, not me walking it, so that was out the question. I think Pomeranian was a close second to what a husky could have been. I then went and got Pomeranian within the week. It was quite intense, no one would take me to go get this Pomeranian. But basically, if you've ever used Preloved before, or if you haven't, you basically have to be a member to send messages, so I had to pay my £5, I thought £5 or £10 a year to be a member. So I just paid it and then cancelled it once I was finished getting a dog. And I messaged this person like, hey, have you got any female puppies left? They were about 11 weeks, which means typically when you get a puppy, they are 8 weeks old because that's when they can leave the mother. And you usually contact the breeder around 6 weeks or even before they're born, and then you collect them when they're old enough to leave. But I wanted one that was old enough to leave. Didn't really want to wait because I didn't want people to go back on their decisions. And then she was like, hi, yes, I have 2 Pomeranian girls left, here's my phone number. I tried phoning and they wouldn't answer, so then I had to try and get someone else to phone for me because I got shy then, and they didn't answer. And then an hour later or so we got a call back, and at first she was really confused. She was like, what? And she was like, where'd you find my number, blah blah blah. And we were like, oh my god, she don't know what she's doing, you're fucked up. And then she was like, oh okay, sorry, I thought you were the ones we had seen before and were still pestering us for a dog and calling on a new number. And we were like, sorry. And then she agreed on Saturday we could go pick up the dog, well, see the dog and see if we like it. It wasn't an agreement to go buy the dog that day. It was an agreement to see the dog and see if we like the dog, and if we did we could have it, you know what I mean? And then that came on to the next problem of trying to find a way to get there. It was in Birmingham, which is about an hour away by car. I had about 3 days to find someone who could drive me to Birmingham. My mum could have, but she was like strict no. She was like, this is your dog, this is your idea, you're doing it by yourself, I'm not helping you, I'm just saying you're allowed a dog. So I had to try and get my dad behind my back. My dad wasn't keen on the idea of me having a dog because he wanted me to focus on my career and all that good stuff, you know what I mean? Yeah. Because basically my dad, he has a few restrictions in life now because of the dog. So from there, he managed to agree. He was like, if you're going to do this stupid decision, fair enough, that's on you. You're old enough to make that decision, you're 20. Like, I had just turned 20. So in the morning we went to the bank to withdraw the money. The website said the bank was open on Saturdays. Turns out it is, but not like the area where the people like help you, so But luckily this woman was really, really nice and she helped me out. She helped me override my account because I had a children's account, and she helped me overwrite it and get my money out. I needed £600. So she let me get 500 out. Okay, so we got to about the part where I was at the bank, because it is now about 2-3 days later. So I get to the bank and it's actually like shut. It's open but not like thingy. So the woman had to overwrite my account because it was a child's account, and I had to sign to say that I want £500 out. And luckily there was someone that was just about to go home after their shift, and I literally just managed to get in there in time, like just. So it was like, if I was any bit later I wouldn't have been able to withdraw my £500, and I was hoping that would be enough. So I had just withdrawn, what time was I had to be there at 2. We went to the bank about 9. I think it's about 9. Dad picked me up about 1:45, went bank at about 9. And then we went straight to Pets at Home, which is pretty much right near the bank. And I spent £97 on this dang dog. Yeah, so that happened. I basically just bought the like essentials, the necessities. I got the bed, the food. Luckily on the post for the dog it said they had just been weaned onto puppy royal canin, so I knew what to get. It was expensive, but whatever. Got some dog treats, some chews, some toys like teddies and stuff, a blanket and a bed. The bed was the hardest part because I was just guesstimating from a picture to which bed to get, but luckily I got one that was good enough. Oh, and of course we had to get the puppy pads just in case she did wee-wees. And then we went back to my dad's and chilled for a bit. I was so anxious, man, so anxious. But it wasn't really, yeah, it was anxiousness. There was just nothing I could do to pass time quick enough. Tried to go on my laptop, tried watching the TV series, and the TV series, they felt like such long episodes that just didn't take up time, you know what I mean? So yeah, but in the end, Dad agreed that we'll just leave now. Birmingham is about an hour away, and then we're gonna get food there just to help pass some time. So we left and started our en route to Birmingham. And I get travel sickness, so I had this mix of like nervousness and travel sickness going on at once. And it was still a bit awkward because I didn't know if I would end up walking out with Yui. I didn't know if she would let us have Yui, if Yui was a Pomeranian, or even if the woman would let us have the dog, because she was slightly hostile towards us on the phone. It wasn't anything like personal, it was just she had had bad experiences with others looking at the dog, so she was hostile towards us, so we didn't know what the scenario was there, so yeah. But then we went for food literally just down the road and had a drink. Pretty sure I had a cider or something, and it was all good. It was okay. I had a lasagna, but then I felt like full and sick and nervous at the same time, and it was like, oh my god. Time was just going slow. We were sitting and waiting for a bit on our phones, all that stuff. We decided to just message her, let her know we're going to be on our way and should be there in about 5 minutes. And it was about 10 to 2, 1:45. We let her know, we started going, and she was like, yeah, that's fine, just knock on the door. And when we pulled up, it was like a right, like council estate. It was a really rough area. There was like kids playing with shit they should not be playing with, and we were bricking it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was sort of brought up around council estate areas, no biggie, but since then, like my dad for example, he lives on quite a nice street now with like old people and stuff, so pulling up to a council estate to spend £650 on a dog was like, So I was like, Dad, can you hold my money before I get shanked? So yeah, that happened. We didn't get shanked. He held my money, that's what I meant. I mean, knocked on this door, and she wasn't really old. She was like middle-aged-ish. She answered the door and she was like confused. She was like, hi. And I was like, hi, we're here to see a female Pomeranian. And she was like, oh. But we were like, oh shit, we got the wrong house, haven't we? But we were in the right house. And then we walked in a bit and she like moved a gate, and these 2 cute-ass little, they look like little bear cubs come running up to us. Basically, one was running up to us and like jumping up us and everything. And then she taught the other puppy, who was a bit smaller than her, that's Yui, that we were good people and we were okay. And then after that, Yui was also jumping up us, and we had, it was amazing. We just had these 2 little bear cubs jumping up us, and we were probably there for a good half hour to an hour. It was just a decision I wasn't prepared to make. Which one do I want? Basically, my dad asked about seeing the parents, and the dad was in the backyard, so my dad went and checked that out. But I was too busy trying to decide between the two dogs that I didn't check out the dad. Apparently the dad was pure white and the mum was like a deep tan ginger colour, like a reddy ginger. She let the mum into their like room with us, and oh my god, it was just, we were playing with her puppies and she was just so placid and she was just so cuddly, and she just put her front paws on my knees, and then I was just like stroking her behind her like ears and neck and stuff, and she was such a good dog. And I'm pretty sure my dad was that close to coming home with an adult dog. I was close to coming home with 2 Pomeranian puppies, but I also didn't know if I could financially fund 2 dogs and raise 2 dogs as my first dog ever raising 2 puppies. Yeah, but there was this one little dog, Yui. Yui was a bit smaller than her sister, and her sister had a darker nose. We didn't want a small dog. We wasn't aiming for a small dog. But basically the other one was very hyper and was also really interested in the environment. Yui was quite clingy already. She also peed on my knee in excitement when I was stroking her. That should have been a sign that she has a weak bladder and that she'll always do that, even 6 months down the line. But I didn't think that. I just thought, oh, what a fucking cutie, just pissed on my kneecap. Please don't do that if you're trying to win someone over, though. I wouldn't recommend it on first date. So my dad's just basically like, have you made a decision yet? Like, which one do you want? I was like, I don't know. A bit later on, we both just sort of said, that one in it, we're getting that one. And I was like, Dad, which one do you think? And he was like, that one. And I was sort of leaning towards Yui compared to the other. So because we were both sort of slightly on that side compared to that, we thought, yeah, we both agreed, let's do it. And let me just tell you though, she is this Pomeranian puppies are just so fluffy and soft and silky, and oh my god, it was the best thing ever. And then in the car I was Snapchatting everyone like, oh my god, I'm a parent now. And the breeder told us how to get the puppy pack at Pets at Home, which, if you're new to raising a puppy, it is £49 at Pets at Home. You get all their injections, microchipping, and I think it's like 3 months flea and worm treatment. I'm unsure, don't quote me on that, but you do get some flea and worm treatment in it. And we also got a few like consultations for free about Yui's eating, her bladder and all that good stuff. I do recommend though, if you're like me, hi, and wouldn't be able to randomly fork out for random surgeries, look into getting some pet insurance, because my dad doesn't have pet insurance for Coco, because if he gets ill, it could just probably be like, okay, here's the money for that. But obviously I can't just randomly like fork out a grand out of nowhere, so instead I pay about £7 a month for Yui. I also pay £10 a month right now for her flea and worm treatment because she's a fucking rascal, okay? We can't trust her not to get fleas or worms at the moment. Yui was 11 weeks old in the post, I think. 9 weeks, 11? I think she was 11 weeks old, which is a few weeks over the thing. Now she's just turned 6 months, so we've had her a good long time. But I swear to God, it was the best day of my life and like the best decision I'd ever made. On the car journey back though, I was like slightly bricking it because I was like, shit, what if I am not ready? Because I can't afford not to be ready now because I've got a fucking dog. I literally only had like 4 days to plan all this shit. Luckily I've been saving money for ages, so I've been covered on that base. We basically took her to my dad's and she met my brother, his girlfriend at the time, and her mum. And then we tried to get her to meet Coco, but Coco just barked and scared us, so we were like, fuck off Coco, fuck off. And then Dad dropped us back at my mum's, and as soon as we put a puppy pad down, she peed on it. I was like, yes man, because that could have been the carpet, but it wasn't. She waited until that puppy pad was down, then she went to it and pissed on it, despite pissing on my knee like earlier. But yeah, that was the story of how I got Yui. I basically persuaded my mum a lot. You got the dog, all that good stuff. But yeah, we saw the parents, so we knew roughly what Yui was going to look like, and I knew a Pomeranian was going to be the best breed for me. Just to end off this video, I would like a little segment on why I bought a dog rather than adopting. Basically, I can't necessarily adopt right now, as I'm very low income. No place will allow me to adopt. The adoption process in the UK is actually quite long. They have to come like verify your house and check it's dog suitable and all that stuff. Why do you feel wet? Have you been in the shower? So yeah, basically that was just a hassle I wouldn't be able to go through. And the thing is with adopted dogs, some of them have very troubled pasts, and I was sort of getting a dog for the emotional support section of life, so having a dog that was troubled would just be like more emotional effort, not emotional effort, but stress on me. And the reason I got a Pomeranian was because they are like big dogs in a small dog. I wanted a husky, but a husky would walk me, so I got a Pomeranian. They are loving, they are loyal, they are quite emotional, they are very intelligent, and just the perfect breed for me basically. Their needs fitted my lifestyle and my future goal lifestyle. Didn't you? Yeah. She's very respectful and like, she's great. She looks really big compared to me, but I'm 5 foot. I'm the size of an 8-year-old, so please keep that in mind. Also, adoption can be quite expensive sometimes, but I made sure to go to a breeder that wasn't like one of the puppy mill types, and she was just a genuine person that had Pomeranian and had babies, you know what I mean? She's not a toy pom, she's just a Pomeranian. Ow, what was that for? She's a naughty dog. But yeah, there are a few reasons I didn't adopt. And there's pretty much only like 5 dogs in our local RSPCA, so it's not much of a choice. Most of them are old, and I wanted a life partner and something I could raise at the moment, as I don't want a child, ever. So Yui is like my child. But I think in the future, when I have a home that will approve for evaluation, I will look into rescuing and adopting rather than buying. It was just mainly my first dog, like my own dog, that I wanted to buy. And especially as she's like my little support doggy that's attacking me. Yeah? Gonna be a good girl? She keeps licking my glasses and then I can't see. Ow, don't bite him! Also, most of our dogs that go to rescue centres now are dogs like Yui that if they didn't sell, they would have been put down. This woman would not have put these down. She loved them. She would not sell them to bad families. But most dogs in rescue centres, they are dogs that were accidentally bred and then put in there because rather than put down, and then they get put down anyway. So that's why I brought Yui. That's not why I bought her, but I was basically just stopping her from going to the rescue centre in the first place, you know what I mean? Well, not Yui specifically, but Pomeranian in general. I think I should go now. Yui's getting really frustrated, and I just keep talking. But it was a long process to get a Yui. It was weird going like a year without a dog in the house, and now we've got a dog in the house, and it bites me all the fucking time. Free. Okay guys, it's Weal Macmillan, over and out. Oh my god. I swear to god I'm gonna... Don't forget to subscribe to One Quiet Potato.